So my question is, if Adam and Eve ate a pear instead of an apple, would it be called Adam's pear instead of Adam's apple?
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever come back where it's root for the Royals. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
We did it on our 9th attempt.
I didn't know the middle part of that song. That's pretty crazy.
Yes. But to our viewers, that was our first time, and we did great. I'm going to put this right here.
Nice.
So it was Brian's birthday, and we went to a Royals game. But before we get there, we need to beep, beep, beep.
I'll give you a little harmony. Bow.
Back up the truck. Brian's birthday was on Saturday. Today is Sunday. It's a beautiful day. It was a glorious day.
Yes.
But let's back it up, like we said, to his actual birthday.
Right.
Unfortunately, I was working a literal 10-hour day.
Boo.
Which is totally fine. I love my job. Love the people I'm working with. Shout out Rob, who's already been subscribing on 2 accounts just to show extra support.
Aww.
2 claps.
Shout out to you, Rob.
And commenting, that was super cool.
Yeah.
And if you haven't commented and you're listening,
yeah, what's up with
throw a
that?
little comment in there. It helps the algorithms. Help us out. Do a little comment.
And a little subscribey.
A little subscribey. It's just one button.
It won't be a big deal.
You're already there. Click it.
We're here to get. You're actually, if you're seeing me say this, let's head on over.
Yes, go to our YouTube, the After Class Podcast Show. Almost had a blank on what our name is. The After Class Podcast Show. Hit the subscribe button. You're right there.
We're having a good time, guys. And if you're with us, be with us. Join the family,
yes.
right?
So I'm going to pass it over to you because I'm out of breath somehow, some way. Saturday. It was kind of more of a mother-son day for his birthday.
Yes. So pretty much we're at that stage where every gift he wants is extremely expensive.
Mm-hmm.
This was the day that he was humbled.
Yes.
You're coming into your preteen manhood. You were humbled today.
He thinks he's a man until...
He thought he was a man until we walked into good old Best Buy.
We went to you went, sorry.
He went to Best Buy.
You went to Best Buy.
Yes. I gave him a $500 budget for his birthday. Yep. I don't even know if I told you that. Did I? Oops.
I wanted a $500
Cat's
budget.
out the bag. $500 budget. And, you know,
felt like we were in Dan's Den there for a second. Sorry.
I know.
Continue.
So $500 budget. And all he said was he's into electronics, video games, all that kind of stuff now. So I found myself in Best Buy. Probably the worst place you should take someone with a $500 budget and an electronic addiction.
The only thing I think you could get at Best Buy for $500 is maybe an outlet or a charger.
Maybe.
Okay.
And there's going to be another piece that needs to go with that one in order.
You're
still
outlet,
barely in the door at Best Buy. So we're at Best Buy.
Was there a moment though where he was like, "Oh, I need 2,000 of those. I have 500 of them."
So when we went over to like the monitors, the PCs, the this and that, and he's seeing $2,000 and $3,000, he was like, and I was like, mm-hmm. I said, let's do a little math problem since you're 11 now.
What was Ember? Was she like, wow, that's a lot of...
She was singing and dancing around the whole store. You know, she wasn't even... But I was like, how much would you have to work to get one of those? Mm-hmm. Huh?
An entire month if you live at home and live in the basement.
So I could see him getting really stressed out, really frustrated. Then I had a guy like...
Yeah, it was like our waiter.
Yes. Yeah.
I got some strawberries on it. And some whip.
So he pulled me aside and he's like, there's another store. It's a little ways down the road.
Was this Best Buy in an alley?
He's
what
like,
is he talking to? Like
low key? He didn't want to get caught. He's working at Best Buy. He's like,
okay. I'm like, what kind
they
of Best
got
Buy?
the discounts. If I'm shopping for myself, I'd go there. I wouldn't even, I work here and I wouldn't come here.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, great. We go to that place. Still expensive.
Oh, yeah. It's called Micro Center, but the prices are
not
macro.
They are not micro. They're not even mini. It's like, huh? So we go there. He humbles himself. He got a couple things. He ended up being happy. Then he wanted to go get crab legs. I said, oh, you're just having a little day, aren't
just
you?
Luxurious living.
So what disappointed me, Midwest, we have to talk about this.
Okay.
Why would you call yourself Crab King?
Okay.
So I'm thinking King Crab Legs.
King Crab.
And I said, I go there and I say, hey, do you guys have king crab legs? They're like, no.
Oh, wow.
I said, why? They're like, well, to ship it and like sell it, we would have to sell it for $70. And I was like, yeah, in LA, that's about what it costs when we go to like the Boiling Crab. He's like, yeah, but Midwesterns aren't paying for that.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. You're swimming in a small pond. There's not big whales over here.
But the meat that's in the crab that they're giving here is like, it's not even the full leg.
Right.
And
maybe that should have been called the micro crab.
It was so salty. It was like oil and salt.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was butter.
There was one place I ate, and I'm not a seafood person. I eat so much food. I love food. I'm not a huge seafood person.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't really grow up on it. But there was one place that my brother and I think his wife at the time, when we were in Orlando, they took me. The butter, just the flavor that was at this one kind of is a hole in the wall spot. I don't know. It was probably.
Would they remember? Because I would like to go there if we ever go.
They would probably remember, and it was
by Disney or what?
Incredible. Yeah, it was in Orlando somewhere. So good. I remember something about biscuits at a seafood place. They're always just dripping with butter, and you can't go wrong with dripping butter on a biscuit.
Yeah.
So. What happened next?
So that was disappointing. The crab legs were disappointing. Then he said, I want to go to the mall.
Okay.
Teenagers and their clothes and these new little fads and these little things that they want. I mean, back when I was his age, it was the Spice Girls. I just want a little lollipop to be Baby Spice, whatever. You want a $300 jacket?
Yeah. The trendiness nowadays seems like it's preposterous,
but it doesn't come with the pants.
Prices.
So I was asking the guy, like, so does it the pants? Are you throwing in the pants with it, or where are we at?
No, you have to go to King's Crab to get the pants.
I'm like $300.
Yeah,
you spill anything on it, it's done.
It's half that. It's like a used car. You take it out the store, it just dropped in half.
I was just like, wow.
But he did get a hoodie. I thought it was cool. The color was cool. The emblem or logo, it's kind of whatever, but the color is cool.
I don't get it. I'm not understanding. We should come out with a sweater, charge $300.
Maybe someday, somewhere, somehow, we will come out with the After Class Podcast Show sweaters, hoodies, matching onesies.
And then the more expensive ones will be the Nightmare Neighbor sweater.
Yes.
Yep.
It'll have just like a wanted picture on the front of it. Well, the cool thing is his hoodie was royal blue. It was like a powdery baby blue, which was the color that they were wearing today on their uniforms. And we had...
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we had an amazing time, genuinely. Yeah. So the day started at the crack of dawn, 8 a.m. We were going to church this morning. Marcus, who was at the concert, and I feel like there was something else we mentioned he was at. Anyways, Marcus is so funny. Every time we hang out, so after church, we were debating where we're going to get food. I was letting Brian decide.
Right.
So we were driving separate. You're next to me, and I'm like, what do you guys want? Brian says, Panda.
I was
Everybody was fine with it except Mama Bear. She was like, Panda.
Of all the places you can pick, Panda Express.
So birthday boy, we're going to Panda. But Marcus, he is obsessed.
With Panda?
No. Peachtree.
Did he ask to go there?
Yes.
You were lying.
We're sitting in the car. We talked about this on the podcast where it's just extreme hole in the wall, like cafeteria vibe. Good food, but
he really said that.
The atmosphere is a cafeteria that has not been updated since 1912, and it's connected to a strip club, basically. Good food. But Marcus, every time I hang out with you, he brings it up. Like, have you ever had it? So he brings it up, and as soon as it comes out of his mouth, he's like, oh yeah, we went there last time. So funny.
Wasn't he Mr. I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah. And
yeah,
everybody
right.
knows his name. Hey, Marcus, your food's ready. It's on the warmer.
He's here. That's funny.
Anyways, so we went to church. I got my coffee drink on the way, made my concoction of coffee. We're drinking our first cup on the way. We get there, sure enough, I'm on my second cup from the hot coffee now. We moved from cold on the drive to hot coffee there. Mm-hmm. We go to the earlier service. I'm grabbing that coffee on the way out for the number 3. We go to Panda.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you feeling a way about this?
Today was great because I had headache, neck ache, woke up and it was just not good. But that pushed me over the edge and helped me get through the day. So we go to the baseball or Panda. We go to the baseball game, and I tell you what, it was like we were at Disney World. We go to the guest services. Oh, first off, apparently it was bobblehead day. 15,000 what do we call them? Fans walked out with. They had 15,000 bobbleheads of
just on a table or what?
Of Vinny Pasquantino, one of their players, and they had they probably have 12,000 of them left at the stadium that they're trying to figure out what to do with. So we came in. We each got one. Got an extra one for Ember. She was thrilled. So as we were go to guest services, they gave him a button that's like my first game because he'd never been to a baseball game before. So that was cool. It's kind of like Disney, like my first time at Disney. Have you been? Yeah, we went to a game before. Had you been to one before?
No.
No? Okay.
So I didn't get the button.
Yeah, I guess we forgot.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Look at
that. He was walking down the golden roads of Wizard of Oz with all the food. You would have thought we were at a fair. I don't think he was comprehending what he got himself into.
I told him, I said, they have food there. It's not like LA where, they try to, it's, $800 for a cheap little nasty something. They don't play about the food.
And there's also not 8,000 grills whenever you leave the stadium with hot dogs.
Were they tailgating there?
Royals, I don't know what it is. They don't really do tailgating, but Chiefs tailgating is a mandatory event.
I don't get it.
We'll try it sometime just for the full effect. No?
Well, no. Because think about it. It's just, we don't drink. We're just sitting there for hours.
We could have some fun with it. But anyways, so we're hopping back into the game. We haven't even sat down, and we have an icy. We have popcorn. I've got Dippin' Dots. I've got a Coke. Next thing you know, I have like 4 hands. I'm carrying everything.
Right.
Marcus and Brian do a not a 40-yard dash. They do like a first base dash.
Right.
I'm going to throw that on there. Who do you think won?
Who's going to win?
I want to say Brian, but he still might be too young.
Marcus, don't let me down.
Marcus won, not by much. What was funny though was Brian was like, I'm wearing jeans,
Oh, yeah.
Marcus was wearing like khakis.
It's like,
so,
Brian, just take the L.
I can't say though that had they ran a second time, Brian probably would have won because when they came back to me, Marcus was like,
I'm too old for this.
That was probably the first time he has ran in 8 years.
Yeah.
So we played they had a basketball arcade game. So that was fun.
He did that?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was super fun. It was so goofy. You have to buy a Royals tokens and pay, not even like put them in the machine. You hand them to a little like 16-year-old worker. Here's my Royals bucks. To play the game. Like, it was just kind of goofy. I feel like it should have probably just been free, or just like we waited all the way through the line 10-20 minutes
just to find out that
just
you
to find
those?
out yeah, you actually need some Royals
Did they
bucks.
let you come back to the front?
No, we waited again.
No.
So we had to leave the line we waited in to then wait in a line to get the
They don't
Royals
tell you
bucks.
that you need it ahead of time?
No. Well, there was signage that I guess we just didn't quite see. Anyways, we had a blast. Brian was on the Megatron. What did we call it?
Remember we had this issue, episode 1?
What's it called? A Megatron? A
Megatron?
That's
Is that a Transformer?
That is Transformer.
Jumbotron.
Jumbotron. Brian was on the Jumbotron not once, but twice. The first one he was just dancing.
That is so cool.
The second time was his birthday. The other thing that was pretty cool though was whenever we went to guest services and we told him like it's his birthday, it's his first time, and they were just bringing we had 3 different people come to our seat.
That's really cool that they do that.
Here's a certificate of your birthday.
Oh.
I mean, if Brian was 6, it would have been cool, but he was just kind of like, oh, cool. Like he was being a good sport. But it was pretty funny. Like they're bringing you birthday certificate. Then the next inning, first game certificate. Then the next inning, they're giving him like stickers for his like face paint stickers.
At some point, you're like, okay, guys.
Yeah. The guy sitting in front of us was like, I think you're 4 years older by now.
You guys are like, we got it. Don't come back. He's fine.
But yeah, it was great. One time somebody came up, they were giving us like this old spiel, and next thing you know, the Royals get a hit, and we're just jumping up, screaming, and they're still like going through their spiel, and we're just like, hey, like we're good.
Oh no,
we're good. Thank you so much. But he had the time of his life.
I'm glad.
It was fun. I was a little worried about it because he's more of a basketball head.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment we got there, it was just like he just instantly was
sports,
baseball
anything.
boy.
Yeah, sports, anything. He's into it.
So that was fun. I'll pass it back to you, baby.
So I have a question.
Yes.
How many times did you fail your driver's test?
I didn't know failing was an option with the driving test. I passed it with flying colors.
If you had to say like a normal,
so
like,
it sounds like
okay,
you failed.
I did.
Okay.
But if you had to say, okay, that's like like
you took it a second time.
That's okay.
That would be like, okay, it's California, different laws, or maybe hectic driving. Maybe you were under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
14, 15-year-old Lauren was just hectic.
Right.
It was a tough time.
So I failed my driver's test 4 times.
What?
Yes.
So wait, you took it a 5th? So if you
I
failed
think,
it 4 times.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were just finally like, all right, you failed it 4 times. You're 26
I
now.
failed it 4 times, but it wasn't my fault. I feel like they were being...
Okay, hold up. Anytime someone gets in a wreck, that is what comes out of their mouth. But it wasn't my fault.
There was 2, I would say 2 out of the 4 times. It was my fault, but they could have been a little more lenient.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you were failing it, was it a written portion? Was it
Oh no, baby. We're in the car.
Thing?
We're on the move.
Okay.
We are in the car.
Was there ever any damage done?
No, there was. Well, no. There wasn't any damage done, but I just felt like they were being a little difficult. I think California is a little more difficult with the driving test. Yeah. So 2 of the times I failed, we had to parallel park. So I think the rule is if the wheel touches the curb at all, fail.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
I thought that was crazy.
That is a little crazy because even in LA, you're not parallel parking. Well, you do actually parallel park a decent amount. But here, so I guess that's the thing. Maybe you fly into the Midwest, you take your test, you pass it.
Right.
You fly back.
But like, who doesn't, is that not normal to hit the curb? The back tire? Not hard, but just like, okay, we're here.
Like a little, little curb
we're
check.
in.
Okay.
On to the event. So every time it hit, boom, I was like, they're like, ooh, yeah, no. Sorry, we're moving on. So those were the 2 first fails that I got. The third one, apparently I didn't stop at the stop sign long enough. Who really sits there? 1,000, 2,000, 3, 1,000. Who does that? If you do that, we're fighting. Exactly. If you do that in real life, we're fighting. Yes. Somebody's getting out of their car. We're honking. We're like, can we get this going?
Maybe it was a Midwest thing, or maybe it was just my driver's ed teacher seeing how much of an idiot I would be.
Yeah.
They had this portion of the class that was like, hey, like, well, this is through school because we took driver's ed through school.
What?
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, that's your first problem. You guys don't take driver's ed at school?
No.
To my knowledge, that's like we
had to go to like an outside facility to do this stuff. Huh. And they would come to your house and pick you up, and there was no going to school.
My teacher told us to go to a four-way stop sign.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if that was a thing. A 4-way stop sign and count how many how many cars actually stopped fully and, looked, did everything by the books.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting there with a lawn chair.
Are you serious? You're lying.
No.
You went out to a 4-way and like tested it out?
It was my class.
How would he know if you did it or not?
I don't know. But I did it.
Oh,
So,
you're such
I
a
can still
good
remember
boy.
the
I
4-way
would've never done that.
stop sign area I was sitting in a little church parking lot because there was a perfect just view of the 4-way stop signs.
And were people doing it right?
No. Heck no.
Okay, so I said 1,000, 2 1,000. I was like, that's kind of a long 2 1,000. So I went. Whenever you see them writing,
Yeah.
you're stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm with my anxiety. I'm questioning you. What was that? What'd you write down? What'd I do wrong? Eyes on the
drive, you're
road.
saying that?
I'm saying this to the person. Well, what's up? Because I have things to do. Like I failed twice. This is my 3rd time in the car, so I'm stressed. Every time I pull back in.
I can imagine you saying that to him, like, what'd you write down? Like, I have places to drive.
No,
What's
I was
the
just
problem?
like, what's going on? What'd you write down? What'd I do wrong? Keep your eyes on the road and finish the test.
Man.
And I felt bad because every time I pulled back into the DMV, my dad's standing there, like anxiously waiting to see if and it's just
Honey,
always
baby.
like, I'm always like, he's just like, what is wrong? Because he was the one who taught me how to drive, right? So he's taking it personal. Like, she can't drive because I'm not teaching her well. No, they're just being very picky.
So then on the drive home, is he giving you like some sort of pep
Rodney
talk or,
Baby's
like-
going in. It is a whole thing. There's scripture involved in everything. Okay. When God says, and I'm like, what does this have to do with me stopping?
Drive down the narrow road, not the wide
Are
road.
you listening? It's like, I'm listening. I didn't say 3 1,000. By the time I thought 2 1,000, I was like, that's kind of long. I'm
Right.
thinking this. 3 1,000 already came then. You're being a hater.
So when you finally passed, was it like,
I only passed because the guy was a fan of my uncle.
oh, wow.
I think he was being very lenient. He said, "Oh, Weatherspoon, what's
You didn't even start.
Are you
You like
related?
go to start the car and he's like, hey.
He was an older black man. He's like, "Are you related to like that one comedian, John Witherspoon?" I was
Right.
like, "Oh yeah, that's my dad's brother." Mind you, my dad's sitting there anxiously waiting. So we did this before we went out.
Okay.
I made a couple mistakes, but let me get to the 4th time I failed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming up to the left-hand thing, right?
Well, that's your problem. The left-hand thing.
There wasn't,
Coming up on the left-hand thing, I'm turning on the other thing, and then, you're hopping on the
but
thing
you know what I mean, though,
on
right?
that road.
The left hand.
Yeah.
But it had an arrow.
Okay.
So I was like,
Did it also have words that said one way?
So I said, okay, I'm ready to make a left, but it has an arrow. I've never seen this before. Nobody taught me. I've never heard about this. I always thought you're making a left,
Okay.
yield,
Yes.
and get on with your life. The arrow. So I'm so panicked in my head, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, it's green. It's an arrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I should be
A
able
green
to
arrow.
go.
Green
But by
is
the
good.
time I'm thinking of this, it went yellow and then red. So you didn't think to go at the arrow? She's grilling me, this girl.
Yeah.
Fail.
I can say this though, you are more of a defensive driver, which I think is great.
Are you like scared in the car with me?
No. I feel like it's been a long time since I've been in the car with
Yeah,
you driving.
don't let me, not that you don't let me drive, let's not
No.
sound, but if I don't have to, I won't.
Yeah.
I am a good driver though. I can get
Yeah.
where I need to go. I'm just very cautious because those
Yeah.
people traumatize me.
Well, I just think the guy should drive. I think it's like a nice thing to do. The guy's
What do you guys think? Should the guy
almost
always
like
drive?
escorting, just being the husband and doing, you just sit there, relax.
You know what's funny?
Don't do anything.
When we were driving to go get food today, I was like, this is far.
Mhm.
And then I was like, I don't know how he drives all the way to Madeline's house and then his mom's house.
Mhm.
I would die.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah, every time we do a road trip, it's funny. Growing up, we did road trips all the time. 2 hours was the minimum.
I would. That is
We were
not-
driving 5, 6, 7, 10 hours, in a
Yeah.
day. And so whenever I drive,
I always offer though. I said, do you want me to drive? You're like, no.
that's the other thing is, I think it's kind of like flying an airplane. You don't like flying because it feels, well, there's a lot of reasons why you don't like flying. But I think one is because you are not in control and you feel like something could happen, and I
So
feel
you're saying I'm controlling?
in the airplane,
Okay.
maybe, and I feel like that's kind of how it is. It's like you offer to drive, and I'm like, I would just rather drive.
You think I'm going to run you off the road?
I don't think you would.
Now that I said this, you're definitely not going to let me drive.
No, well, maybe. I was always suspecting you were a 4-time failure.
No, it's not my fault. Who is being that picky, LA?
All right, well, we did learn something today.
Mm-hmm.
You failed a lot at your driving test.
Right.
I am having the hardest time with speaking recently.
I think
Have you noticed that?
ever since I did that game with you,
The speech impediments have started.
mm-hmm. Brothers,
figured
sisters,
out-
cousins, mother.
I learned something new about you today.
Yeah,
You failed a lot of driving tests.
but I'm winning.
I
at
don't
life.
honestly think I would have ever known that. Like driving. What if for fun we did like a driving test?
I'd fail. I can't. I don't do well at
Maybe
tests.
we could do that sometime.
I have
We'll see.
testing anxiety.
I don't know how we would rig it up, but maybe we could somehow do some type of driving test.
I would fail because you have to stop at the stop signs for a certain amount of time. You have to. Do you know how to do the hand signal? Left, right, stop, and slow down.
Well, who in
I think
that
it's
might
left,
be a Midwest
right,
thing. You're on your
stop and
I'm
slow
on my
down.
tractor and I'm doing my turn signals. I'm doing
If your backlights go out, you better know.
yeah. My goodness.
Or is it left,
In-
right, stop, and slow down?
In all of my life, I don't think I have ever once seen somebody use those, except on a bike. I've seen people use them on biking, like bicycles.
Really?
Bicyclists.
Bicyclists.
That sounds like a sickness. I got a bad case of the bicyclists.
You better lay down. You take an ibuprofen.
Oh, man. Have you noticed something about Midwest drivers?
You Midwest drivers.
Let's say it on the count of 3. Wait. Okay. 3, 2,
Two,
1.
Tailgate.
Oh, we said it right there. Okay.
It's
So-
so bad.
I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
This is my theory on tailgating in the Midwest. Specifically, specifically,
You got it, baby.
because of the Kansas City Chiefs, tailgating is at an all-time high before the games. They think, you know what? I'm going to tailgate on the way to tailgating.
Yeah, and there's so much space and no traffic, so I don't get it.
I am baffled. I am confused. I am mesmerized.
It's so spread out. Everybody can have their own lane all to
Yes.
themselves.
That's the thing that is wild is in LA, I actually prefer the driving way better than here.
No,
Yes, I
it's
do.
stressful though. You're always on edge. You're
Kinda,
defensive
but, like,
driving.
People,
It is
when they make a decision, they are doing it then, they are doing it now, and it's done.
well because if you don't follow through with that decision in LA, that's your life
yes.
and your car.
In the Midwest, there ain't nobody on the road between you and me for a country mile, and you're in my back seat. I can smell what you ate. What is happening? Like, I'm not even actually exaggerating. Like, it'll be a conversation with you and me. We'll be driving. I'm like, wow, this person's just right up. They're tasting my paint.
And I think what's crazy about it is when you change lanes, so do they.
Yeah. And then
I was like, are we being followed?
they'll 3-lane highway, right? Nobody around.
Mm-hmm.
They will zoom to the left, cut in front of me just to get off on the right.
Yeah. Yeah. They're trying to let you know you're going too slow.
But that's the thing though, is like I'm going.
Maybe they're trying to.
What's the statute? It's a limitation.
What's
I'm
that?
going a little over.
What's that thing like in race car where you get behind
Drifting.
the car, or you get behind the car in front of you and
Yeah.
to catch their wind?
Yeah, drifting.
Maybe that's what they're
You
trying to do.
You catching my wind? Maybe I should ask him. You catching my wind?
Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Anyways, golly.
They're like, he's moving. I can get
It's-
downtown faster if I just latch on to the back of his
I
car.
can get there in 0.2 seconds faster
It's
if
just-
I almost crash and
You better not hit the brakes. They're slamming into your
is
car for
unbelievable.
sure.
Anyways, phew, I'm not even drinking Coke. What's happening over here? So I've got it's not a game. It's just a topic, I guess.
Okay.
Not everything is a game in life, Lauren.
Am I free of a game this time?
Yes, you have been freed from the game. Huzzah. I don't know. Did
It's
you
a topic?
Yes, it is a topic.
Okay.
Did you have any friends or family or yourself have any nicknames that were fun in high school, currently, in the past? Did you have past nicknames that you grew out of? I'll give you a few of mine while you think. I'm drawing a blank.
I'm like, did you have?
So my most popular nickname is Glide, because played basketball. Last name's Glidewell.
Oh, wait. Some of yours.
I didn't really honestly have very many nicknames until like high school, college. Glide is the most popular one, and I actually really like that. To almost the point where I'm almost introducing myself as Glide to everybody, just because like I actually genuinely like that name. I think it's really cool.
So at work, do they call you Glide?
Yeah, everybody calls me Glide at work. Because in the interview, they were like, I think they said like, tell us something about yourself or whatever. And I said like, my name is Nathaniel Glidewell. A lot of people call me Glide. You guys can call me whatever you want. And my first day, everyone's like, yo, like that is the coolest name ever. And now I'm Glide at work. But yeah, the Glide nickname really evolved. It sprouted up and had wings.
Started.
Glided away in high school because of basketball. There was a basketball player, a famous one, Clyde the Glide. And so that's just kind of where it started, I would say. And no one typically wants to yell like Nathaniel or Glidewell. So they just became Glide, shortened it. Another one I had, well, let's pass the ball over to you. I don't
my
know if I have
turn?
a ball, but we're passing the invisible ball to you.
My nickname when I was growing up was Mimi.
Okay.
I know.
There has to be.
Because my middle name's Michelle.
Okay.
I don't know.
Michelle,
I think.
Mimi.
Or they would be like the Meminator.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It got real.
The Meminator.
Yeah, it got real fancy. So Mimi is what they called me.
That is one thing that's kind of cool though with nicknames is like it doesn't really have to make sense. It's just like it might be a moment, and it's just that's just
like
you.
Ember. We call her Girly. Hey,
Girly Pop.
Hey, Girly Pop.
Girly Pop is super cute. with Ember specifically, she's
a girly pop. That's just
girly
it.
pop, girly pop, boo, girly pop, girly pop. Oh, we're done. So let's think of some others. Another one that I had at the time when up until like high school ish, I was pretty sheltered with like TV content. Not like crazy, but just some specifically like rated R movies, yada yada.
Right.
And Channing Tatum was typically in those style
risque-ish.
of movies. Yeah. And for whatever reason, apparently in high school, and maybe now in college, apparently I looked like him. And I distinctly remember where I was at. I was detestling corn, and someone was like, "You look like that guy, that actor, Channing." And I was like, "Who is Channing?" I thought it was like an Asian or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I became Channing.
Do you
high
ever
school.
I get nervous when people say, "Oh, you look like that one actress."
You look like,
and I'm always like,
you look
it
like
better not
Will
be.
Ferrell.
Like,
You're
imagine, and you're like, what?
Is there an actress that you...
I've gotten a few, but it's nobody that I can really remember.
Yeah.
I think there was some girl named Joy, some actress named Joy. But that's about all I can think of right now. Let's see. My dad, the kids call him Buddy.
Okay. Is there any like...
He's just said, that's my buddy. That's my best buddy.
Yeah. I didn't know if it had any revel.
So now everybody calls him Buddy.
Because Elf, they call him Buddy the Elf. I didn't know if...
No.
There was this guy that worked at Hy-Vee. He was probably 60 years old, and he would always walk around with his fist just clenched. He always looked like he was about to just fight somebody. So we'd call him White Knuckles.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this guy looked like he was just ready for battle.
He was ready. Was he angry?
No, he was just walking around just like a brute everywhere he went. So we just
y'all
call him White
should have
Knuckles.
kept a close eye. That's like sounds like he's coming back to kill everyone.
He was a very interesting man. We call him White Knuckles.
So he'd just be standing there like this?
Just everywhere he walked.
Like this?
He's... Hey,
what?
What's up?
How did you guys not get a picture of that?
The grapes are on aisle 2.
No, sir. We need to talk. Why? I need answers. See, that I can't sleep at night until I know.
What are you doing, sir?
What's up? What's the backstory?
Why do you have dry blood on your knuckles?
It better
the next day?
You better give me arthritis, because anything past that, I'm concerned, and I'm calling.
He's in the meat department, just
like Dexter. He's just crazy.
Did you ever have any crazy nicknames in high school?
There was a guy named Scooter.
Your dad's nickname? Spoon. That's cool.
Yeah, Spoon.
That's a cool one.
Weatherspoon. So anytime there's a Weatherspoon, I guess back in high school, they would just, Spoon.
I've heard you guys call Alex Spoon.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
My dad, his work buddies, they have a lot of fun ones. There's this big dude. They call him Panda.
What?
Sometimes I think the older generations, they were just ripping nicknames that were just flat out just like, if you had a big lip, you were Big Lips.
Yeah, Big Lips.
If you had big ears, you were Dumbo.
Dang, that's crazy.
If you had a big forehead, you were 8-head.
I feel like in middle school they gave people kind of mean names.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a girl named Tiffany. She kind of
gave you a little tiff.
She smelled like fish, so they called her Fishany.
Tiff the fish.
Tiff the fish. Yeah.
Yeah,
Poor
I'm trying
girl.
to think
Sorry,
of
Tiffany. It wasn't me, but
yeah, we had this one guy. He used to be really into like chopping wood. He was a big like woodsy guy, and we'd call him Bow and Arrow because he would. So I kid you not, we would be at the lunch table. This is in high school, and this man, because he when you work out in the woods a lot, you somehow you just start to look like a grown man, even though you're 14. This man would sit down at the lunch table, unzip his lunch, and he would unfold like this elaborate tapestry of like meat. And we'd call this man Bow and Arrow because he was hunting his food.
And eating it?
Yes, he was like a Wolverine.
Did he at least use a fork?
No. Oh. If your nickname is Bow and Arrow, are you using a fork?
He was just going for it with his hand?
He was like an animal.
Oh my goodness.
We also call him Wolverine because he was really hairy.
What is going on?
I'm telling you.
Was he offended?
No, he loved it.
Oh.
I know my brother, his name's Isaac. When we were really young, he was really good at football. Backyard football school. And there was a wide receiver for the Rams. His name was Isaac Bruce.
So you guys call him Bruce?
Isaac Bruce.
Isaac Bruce? Not just Bruce?
I think so, yeah. No, I think it was Isaac Bruce. And I think he had an Isaac Bruce jersey that he would wear.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was back when they had like Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, and Marshall Falk. Great team. Greatest show on turf.
I call my niece Nani Girl.
Nani?
She's my Nani.
Okay.
She's my little Nani girl.
Cool.
Her name's Chloe. I don't know where. Honestly, when you see babies and you see little girls, whatever sound just comes out of your body because they're so cute is their nickname. She was my little Nani girl. She was such a little Nani.
Do you have nicknames for... Sorry to cut you off like that. Continue. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
You have nicknames for Brian, right?
We just baby talk him. That's his nickname. Is when we baby.
Hates the baby
he
talk.
Can't stand it. We go, baby boy, baby. And he's just sitting there like,
stomp it.
You do it too, though. You joined in now.
Oh, of course, because it's funny.
Yeah.
So the other thing that's really funny too is Alex.
He baby talks Brian so bad. He does it way worse than
I don't know why, but it is
so
the funniest when Alex does it. We'll be playing Fortnite, me, him, and Brian. And, we'll be beating him.
Yeah.
He'll be like, stop it. You're cheating. And he'll just be like,
you're gonna
go call your mama.
He called him for his birthday. And he's like, are you going to go get a little toy for your birthday? Brian gets so mad.
It's very humbling.
Because he thinks he's grown and he's letting him know, you'll never be grown.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's so funny to hear them bicker on the
Ronnie,
video
my
game.
brother. We call him Angel Boy
Mm-hmm.
because he's never gotten in trouble.
He's a little angel.
Never got a spanking. Never, none of that. He gives them no grief.
In the arms of an angel boy.
Fly away. I don't know the rest of the words. I could give you a funny one.
Okay.
Me and my best friend in college, we were a little fluffy, if you want to use that word.
Okay.
A little overweight. We were like, wow, we got like, muffin tops.
Fluff around the edges.
Yeah, we got little muffin tops. So she was like, well, what muffin would you be? And I was like, raspberry. And she's like, well, I would be a blueberry muffin. So since then, I feel like in our phones, well, for sure, mine, blue and raz.
Wait, what was yours?
Raspberry.
And
Raz.
Hers was.
She's blue and I'm raz.
It's still.
Yes.
Isn't that funny though? The name in your contact typically never changes for a lot of people. Like I have people's contacts names like I met them at like a church camp.
Yeah.
14 years ago, and it's still like Nick Church Camp.
You know what? I have a really bad issue with naming people really crazy things
just
in
bizarre.
my phone, and somehow they always see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you connect to the
yeah.
horrible things.
I had one of my friends. What did I have him in my phone as? It was Cam Solar. Met him doing solar sales, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and recently was around him, and he saw my contact name said Cam Solar, and he like kind of legitimately was upset. He was like, "Bro, why am I Cam Solar in your phone? Like, I'm a close friend of you."
Oh, that's nice. Mine would be terrible. If you make me
Yeah.
upset, your name gets changed, and then I'll forget to change it back. Here I am with you, and it's bad.
Yes. Do you ever also like you know, a common name, Nate or Jacob,
where it's like multiple,
and you go to like type in their, you know, like you meet him at church. Hey, my name's Jacob. Put it in. Then you go to text them later, and you're like, oh my goodness, I have 19 Jacobs in my phone. I
already know
no
right
clue.
away. I'm gonna put you down as like Jacob receding hairline, so I know exactly who you are.
That's like do you remember
terrible.
the Office episode where he's like going around and he's like, Michael Scott, he's like, I have come up with a method to remember everyone's names, and he's just like,
yes, it's
brown
terrible.
hair.
Terrible.
It's a funny
It's
little
terrible, but yes. So Blue and Raz, and even when she changed her phone number, it's Blueberry 2, the second number.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of those in my phone. Like Josiah Javier, he texted me on a new phone, and he was like, "Hey, this is my new phone." So his name in my phone contacts is Josiah's new phone.
I'm so okay. So Gilbert, I have so many numbers for Gilbert. I just put the year and the month.
Okay.
Because it's
then
like
you can remember the date he gave it to you.
It's just like Gilbert September 2020. Like it's insane. He changes his numbers so often.
It's a life event.
Which I get it, because at some point too many people get it, and then they're bugging you for, I don't know, cash.
Right.
You know, he get. Then I didn't know you could do this. He had his phone at one point where if you call him, it's just not gonna do anything, but then he can call you.
Yeah.
Like it'll leave a
I'd imagine
message,
there's
and then he
probably-
can. I was like, that's genius.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gotten in trouble. Oh, I wrote something really horrible. This is, you know, before I got saved. But I wrote somebody's name really horrible, like loser, like this, that, the other.
Boo head.
Oh, and it was long. And I didn't realize I was. Erica, my sister, she changed her number so much at one point. I have her as Erica New. Do you see it?
I've seen that actually.
It's just knee. It was the longest new.
Every
I'm
time
like,
she calls,
over.
I just see.
I'm not changing. If you want to get funky with your phone, that's on you. But you're gonna have a weird name. So I got invited. Oh, the story's horrible. So I got invited to have lunch at the cousin of the person that I wrote that horrible name for their number,
Okay.
and they're like, let's FaceTime so and so we can, you know. And
it's
I
like on the screen on
it's
FaceTime.
and it's scrolling. It's so long.
plastered on
It's
there.
scrolling. It's so long. And the cousin's like, "What's his name?" And I was like, Yeah.
Poopy Boy 3000.
Oh, it was bad. It was like very offensive and rude, like of this person. I read his whole life.
And then Jesus changed your life.
Yeah.
And his name is no longer that.
No, it's no longer
It's
that.
just deleted.
It's just you don't exist.
Jeez.
So yeah, you gotta be careful with that because you will forget, and you will forgive that person as we're supposed to.
Yes.
And the name is still gonna be there.
As we have been forgiven.
Absolutely. Amen.
So to kind of wrap things up, we have a good amount of listeners for an up and coming podcast show. We are starting to get comments. We are starting to get some likes. We're starting to get some shares, and all those things that come with that.
Yes.
But there are a few of you out there, and I'm going to look right into the camera. Some of you out there are listening on Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Which, if you're watching YouTube, why are you not? Or if you're listening to YouTube, why are you not watching it on YouTube? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I feel like you should watch it because we put footage of what we're talking about.
Yeah, we throw a lot of raw footage, photos, little snippets of things,
pictures
that you need to see,
glitter, sparkles.
Well, anyways, if you're listening wherever you are, however you are, subscribe to us on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, hit that button.
Boop.
You're right there. You're just a click away.
Yeah, don't be a silent watcher.
Don't be a silent viewer.
Join the family. Join
Click
the club.
it, subscribe to it, hit the bells, hit the whistles, comment on our YouTube.
Yes.
Subscribe on our YouTube. Hit the bells on our YouTube. Share it on your socials. Also, Apple Podcasts, just hit the 5-star rating. Give us a little review.
It's so easy.
Give us a little 5-star review on Spotify. Give us a 5-star. Yeah.
Just go ahead.
Hit that button. Keep hitting it. Don't hit it twice, because then you have to hit it a third time.
Hit that third time. Right. It's very
Hit
simple
it
things.
Once, comment twice, and do better.
Do better.
Bow. Anyways, we do appreciate all the comments we have gotten. Madeline commented. That was super sweet.
Hey,
we shouted her out. So I
love
guess
her.
maybe if we shout her out now, she'll have to just comment again.
You're going to have to comment again, Madeline. We love you. Hello.
Who else? Tyler commented. He did comment twice. Maybe next time he'll comment thrice.
Let's go, Tyler. You got it in you.
And then another video away from now, he'll hit us with the quadruple.
Right.
And then Rob
How
from
about
work.
this?
Yes.
If we get...
Rob commented from work. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. If we get 10 comments and not all Tyler, okay, not duplicates.
And not me commenting back.
Yes, we should do a giveaway.
What are we giving away?
Our love, our light.
Our gratitude.
Speaking of comments,
Yes?
did you want to comment on the comment
Let's comment
that was
on the comment.
commented?
Anne Young, 85, approximately 19 hours ago. This is very thoughtful, and I appreciate it. She said, "This might be too personal, but are y'all a blended family? If so, how have you done it so seamlessly? I'm having trouble getting my stepson to respect me as an authority figure, sad face, even though I've couched all my firmness in kindness."
Ooh, that's a question.
That is a great question.
That's a great question.
So let's tackle it in like at church. Let's tackle this verse by verse. Let's do it line by line.
I think with this situation, there's a couple things that it depends on a couple of things.
Yes.
So for me, first of all, yes, we are a blended family, and we're about to be more blended.
We're blending one
We're
up
just
right
blending
now.
it all up, aren't we? So, yes, we are a blended family, and I think when it comes to something like that, it just depends on how old the kid is, and it also depends on your spouse.
Yeah.
Because if you're dealing with an older kid, let's say that preteen age, their life probably just is in shambles, and you're going to be the symbol of that.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and my dad are not together, and then here you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to have grace with that and kind of be a little bit more slow to force yourself on them or do too much.
Yeah.
And I feel like your husband should demand certain respects on your behalf.
Mm.
Like, hey, I get that this is not your biological mom, but you will respect my wife in this house. She's been nothing but kind to you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think ours was like crazy easy,
Right.
but
Speaking of, it sounds like they're tackling each other.
But yeah, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Because you're the one on the other side of it.
So I think, first off, thank you, Ann Young, 85. If that's her age.
Get it, girl.
So she said, how have you done it so seamlessly? First off, I don't think any situation is ever going to be seamless.
Mm-mm.
And even if you don't have a blended family and just have a quote unquote like regular family,
traditional family, yeah,
traditional, whatever you want to call
right.
it is never going to be seamless.
Yeah, well, kids, anything
no
with
way.
children is just not going to be seamless.
Anything with a bunch of sinful people living together, it's not going to be seamless.
Right.
But to that point, I think what does make it seamless is, obviously it's cliche, but like Jesus.
Yep.
Because like we're Christians, and I feel like through his forgiveness towards everything I've done and you've done and just everybody,
the forgiveness is such a major part in it.
I think it just makes your lens through a lot of life situations be a lot less stressful, and you see a lot more perspectives with the blended family and like forgiveness and almost like adoption.
Right.
We were adopted into the family of Christ, and I think it's cool to like see that reflection with kind of like, in a sense, I adopted you guys, but you also on the flip adopted me as well.
Right.
So it's kind of a cool like resemblance of the gospel, but I don't want to get too preachy because it also is not easy. Like it's hard. Every day is very challenging, but it's like fun. It's different. It's unique. But yeah, I would say, tons of variables. So it's very hard to just throw a blanket statement out there to cover everybody's situation and life circumstances.
Yeah.
But I think timing of when the parents meet and the kid's age is huge.
Yeah.
Because I would say, luckily, Brian was very young.
Ember was even
at
younger.
This point.
I don't think she knows you not being there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is something that's like super helpful is in our circumstance. We were kind of.
So the younger ones are, you're right, definitely easier. I will say if it is an older kid, you still have to have some empathy.
Yeah.
Having a new parent is scary, and you don't want to feel like you're not as important or like that new relationship's more important,
Yeah.
So I think first I would talk to my husband. So what are you doing to help this situation?
Yeah. And
I wouldn't hold back like all your discipline. I think that's not helping the kid either. Have like an open conversation. Hey, I get like I can see your fear in this. Okay, I'm new. Like point out what
that
the
was one thing I was going to
is.
mention is there's many times where I think as an adult and as a parent, I think it's totally fine to just like peel back the curtain and tell like your kid like, and I've told Brian this, like, I don't know really what I'm doing today on this situation. Like it's all new to me. Like I've just, cause he's young, but he's like grown.
He's very mature. Yeah, mentally.
He's very immature, but there are certain aspects of him that is mature.
Yeah.
And so like, I'll just tell him like, I actually have no clue like how to deal with this. We're going to learn together. Or maybe I'll just like go into his room and just be like, I didn't do this right. And I'll just like tell him, I'm sorry. I think just being quick to forgive is very, very important. I don't know if you caught on to this saying that I tell him often is I'm just like, life is so much easier if you just forgive. Yeah. Because it really is.
Yeah.
Because the quicker you can just forgive, it's just like, you'll be less affected by things because
Mhm.
you won't be shocked when someone messes up, and then whenever you just quickly forgive, it's just like it doesn't hold on to you as long.
Yeah.
But we could honestly do like
We can do
maybe
a full,
we could do a full pod.
We can do a full pod on
could-
this, and
We
the
will put a
journey.
blender right here, and I will hit the button,
Right.
and it'll be our blended podcast.
Yeah. Like I said, Anne, right?
And Young.
Anne Young, you got it, girl. But
Yeah.
I do think speaking with your husband and just being completely transparent with
Also,
with
too,
your-
I don't know. It sounds like maybe they're married. Obviously, if you're married now, it's kind of you can't backtrack.
right.
But I think one thing that I feel like we did a pretty good job on was having a lot of intentional conversations beforehand together, just you and me. But then also, I had a lot of conversations with Brian, not as much with Ember because she's really young,
She's very young.
but
yeah.
just more like with Brian, like, hey, like, you know, if I would be your dad, there are going to be a good amount of changes.
yeah.
Some for the
How
better.
do you feel about this?
Some
How do you,
that you're going to get,
you
you know.
sometimes the kids will act out if they don't feel seen or they don't feel a part of something.
Yeah.
But now if you're just cutting up now,
Yes.
the dad needs to step in and say, no,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Right,
you know, and to protect his wife, you can't just have this like unruly teenager. If this is a 3-year-old we're talking about, you're getting snatched up. I'm sorry. This is at it. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you're little and you're just treating me bad because I'm not your mom, that's not okay.
And we're very far from doing it seamless. But
I feel like we have a really good
yeah. I was going to
thing
say
now
to
for
that
sure.
point, like we are, we are, I think, doing, given the circumstances and just moving, just if you would look at our lives on paper,
Oh,
it would be
insane.
incredible.
Insane.
But I think like we're doing really well. We're taking a lot of things in stride.
Yeah.
And
also like some advice for your husband if you're going to show him this. It was difficult for me to release some of the parenting duties. Yeah.
that was one thing that kind of amazed me was that I feel like you were
I was dying.
You were dying.
I
But
was dying
it seemed like you
inside.
were like, yes, please do this. Help.
No, I knew I needed it, but it was still hard because I didn't want them to paint you as this like villain when you were like, no, I do think they stay up a little too late. And I was like, oh, he's kind of right. You know, I had to like let go of a lot of things.
And like there's things that I'm learning. You know what happens if they stay up late? They just sleep in longer on the weekend, and
right.
you know, it's not that big. Like most things in life are just things, and they're not inherently bad. It's what you do and use them for. But I think this has sparked a lot of good convo.
Yeah.
I think we should have
we go and fight after this. I'm just joking.
I forgot to hit stop, and we're just fighting.
Like, why would you say that?
Yeah. This ending has been encouraging, I think, to me.
Yeah. Are you about to shed a tear?
No.
No, it's doable.
Yes.
That is there's a light at the end of that tunnel. Yeah, it's doable.
And I think the other thing is too is you desperately need to have conversations behind closed doors or just away from the kids.
Yeah.
That are, you know, I don't think they need to be part of or seeing arguments or because you're bringing in two different backgrounds and differences and very, very unique upbringings.
Yes.
Totally fine.
I mean, come LA,
Yeah.
youngest of 5. Iowa, youngest of just 2.
2, yeah.
Black, white. I mean, if anybody's,
They're precious in our sight.
We have figured it out.
Yeah.
With
are
two
we
different
figuring it
backgrounds.
out?
Are we figuring it out?
We are continuing to figure it out.
I think we're doing a good job, but also kids respect discipline, whether they...
Yeah, that was one thing that was shocking when I was having like an early on stage conversation with Brian, and he was like, yeah, like, because I think it was me telling him like, you know, like, would you be okay, you know, if I'm punishing you in some way or, you know, taking privileges away or whatever the case is, you know, just being a parent. And he was like, yeah, like, I think kids like need that. It's like they want respect, or what was the word? Authority. Like they're yearning for authority.
Discipline.
And I was like, or discipline. Yeah. And I was like, wow.
Is he mature?
was
It's like scary.
That was weird.
I know. So I can't even like fake the funk with him because he's like, stop.
But it also like really opened my eyes of like, dang, like they really need.
They need it,
like
kids, because that shows you love them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I took the time out to correct you on that because I could it's much easier to not care.
Yeah, we had that conversation really.
It's so much easier to not care. Do it. I don't care. Let's just get out of my room.
And I think that really hit home with Brian, especially was like when he was cutting up and stuff. You're like, it is easy to parent if you don't care and don't do anything.
So easy.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You just let them roam free.
Do what you want. Figure it out on your own because,
yeah.
you know, I did my part. I got you here. That's how some parents really think. And that's sad. It's much more difficult to discipline and have structure. I think that's one thing that we learned from you is a certain level of structure. You know, there was times as a single parent, I mean, just shh. You know, that's all I needed. Just
what is that? Oh.
And go that way. You know? Times where I should have like maybe, hey, let's wind it down, or let's do this, or this room's getting a little, or you know what I mean? Little things like that. And then you were like, are we gonna? So, you know, we had to work on those things. But
I
it's
think
just
also too with correction, I think we have found a playful banter of correction of just like,
what
girl,
do you mean?
what has happened in this room?
Right.
Not just like clean your room like a forceful
she
tone.
and because she
like,
feels the disappointment.
Yeah,
so she's already like
kind of, you know, as a kid, if you're getting your hopes and dreams bombed on by your room is disgusting.
Yeah,
but if you kind of make it more like, I cannot put my foot down in your room to put my foot down on what's happening. What is happening, Amber?
Yeah.
And, you know, she'll laugh and yeah.
Give me 30 minutes. It'll be clean. It's just a pile.
Her room is like 4x4. And she told me the other day, I need 20 minutes. I'm like, what? And you clean in like 4.
She's just shoving things in a corner.
That was one thing. Yeah. She's like, I cleaned my room and everything she owned was in a trash bag.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was like, what is
you were like, this is my squeaker.
Yeah,
my
this is like, hand-me-downs, like family heirlooms in a trash.
Oh my goodness.
But
so with that, I think we've been down here a while. The house could be on fire.
I know at this point.
Let's
and I would actually love for her to respond back and maybe a private message, because if we know the details, we can kind of
if you follow us
more
on
guidance.
Instagram, you can send
scripture.
us a private message and we can help you out.
Yeah,
but that was super cool. We want more of that. Let's
ooh
get on out of here.
Ooh.
Baby's kicking.
Eeh.
We'll see you guys next Friday.
All right. Bye.